Welcome back YouTubers, my channel and everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm AspieAnswersAll, and I'm all about mental health awareness. This is just sharing my life story with OCD, Asperger's syndrome, anxiety and the like, as well as hopefully just being your little mentor if I get to share some light on some everyday topics that we go through based on my everyday experiences and just training in general to hopefully give you some tips and advice along the way. And hopefully some of these tips along the way, basically if any of them, you see of the symptoms of certain everyday mental health topics that I made, you would do all basically persist, seek medical professional or seeking advice. Also feel free to also basically, seek professional help for yourself, because as I said so many times before, my mental health is I don't wish for anyone to come in to do any self-harm. So in all further ado guys, basically if you're following me right now, I'm basically trying to complete as much as I can on my research based on the learning disabilities and the learning disability types and whatnot. And then, like I said, there's some learning disabilities out there as well as many other mental health conditions, so it may take a while and come to light with some people, but I just humbly apologise for some of the ones that has been waiting on some of them. So in all video guys, this one's basically going to be all about ADD, and I'm going to be talking about it through children and adults ADD, so bear with me. So I might alternate both the other to collect up into, like I said, series sort of thing, step by step, like many of them are at the moment, so that you can briefly just have a look at some ones that maybe take the fancy or want to learn more from me on those bits and pieces like we do. We'll be sharing and covering one another. So let's go for this one, which is part 1, and hopefully you'll enjoy. Anyway, part 1 is basically hopefully going to be all about the ADD and the similarities and differences between the ADD and ADHD across learning disabilities. So let's begin. Life can be a balancing act for many adults alike, but if you find you're constantly late, disorganized, forgetful, and overwhelmed by your responsibilities, you may have ADD, ADHD, or as they call ADD, attention deficit disorder, which affect many adults, and its wide variety of frustrating symptoms can hinder everything from hearsay to your relationships to basically your career. But we know that there's help readily available for us all, as well as the learning resources of what needs to be done. As well as that, when this help is available, learning about ADD, ADHD is the first step to actually getting the right diagnosis and the right treatment and help, as many mental health disorders, as I said before. Once you understand the challenges, you can learn to compensate for areas of weakness and start taking advantages of the strengths. Right, many people might be asking me what is ADD and whatnot. So therefore, as I said, ADD is abbreviated down to attention deficit disorder. It's like another form of learning disorder. Many debates here has been asked about, what are the causes and whatnot. Just got to remember also for this ADD, ADHD, one of the misconceptions is it's not just for kids. However, it can go unrecognized throughout childhood. However, this was especially common in the past when very few people were aware of this condition of ADD, ADHD. Instead of recognizing your signs and don't demand that this is the real issue, your family, teachers or parents may have labeled you as just a dreamer, a goof off, slacker, troublemaker, or just a bad student. As I said, based on misunderstandings and misinterpretation of what everything is. That's why I'm here. Ultimately, you may have been able to compensate basically for the symptoms of ADD, ADHD when you were young, only to run into problems as your response to needs has increased as you get into adulthood. The more balls you're trying to keep in the air, pursuing a career, raising a family, or anything else, the greater the demand on your abilities to organise, focus, and remain calm. This can be challenging for anyone, however, but if you do have ADD, ADHD, it can feel downright impossible to actually cope. The good news is that no matter how it feels, the challenges of this attention deficit are beatable. With education, support, and little creativity along the way, you can learn to manage the symptoms of adult ADD, ADHD, and turning some of your weaknesses into strengths. It's never too late to turn these difficulties around and start succeeding in your own terms. Basically, what I'm saying here also is for this we've got to remember with it all, basically, that the effects of it and all that can affect differently for people with ADD, ADHD, and that we need to know basically what is needed. We know that, in all honesty, with adult ADD, ADHD, it doesn't have to hold us back. However, when we have this kind of learning disability or condition, it's easy to end up thinking that there's something wrong with us. But it's okay to be different, you know, like I said before. This isn't, however, an indicator for us with ADD, ADHD of intelligence or capability. Certain things may be more difficult for us, sure, for sure. That doesn't mean you can't have to find your niche and basically, you know, find the right people around you, basically, to relate and also to achieve a success along the way. The key is to find out what your strengths are and capitalize on them. It can be helpful to think about the attention deficit disorder as a collection of traits that are both positive and negatives, just like any other set of qualities you might possess. This goes for people with other conditions, such as a syndrome that I've linked so far, as well as basically the like of everything else. It can be helpful to think about this as a trait, as I said, along with impulsivity and disorganization of this, for example. This can often come incredible creativity, passion, energy, and out of the box thinking, a constant flow of original ideas. Figure out what you've got and set up the environment to support those strengths. As I said before, if you want to know more about what I'm saying, the definition of attention deficit disorder, to give you a better, clearer understanding to what I'm addressing to you all, basically, is it's a syndrome that is of disordered learning and disruptive behaviours that is not caused by any serious underlying physical or mental disorders. That has several subtypes that has been characterized, however, primarily by symptoms of inattentiveness or primarily by symptoms of hyperactivity and impulsive behaviours. As speaking out of turn or by the significant expression of all three I've addressed to all. Okay, I'm going to quickly basically touch base on the comparison between ADD and ADHD before I finish. Okay, the medical clarification, as I said, basically for them both. ADD is basically like attention deficit hyperactive disorder, inattentive type disorder 1, or even though, like I said, it's not a medical or psychological diagnosis. ADHD, on the other hand, has 3 subtypes, as I mentioned. You know, predominantly hyperactive, impulsive, and combined type is also inattentive and hyperactive, impulsive. The symptoms for them will be different, okay, but bear with me. All this might come into play more in depth later on as you follow me. The symptoms is basically for the ADD side of it, they have trouble paying attention, finishing tasks, or following directions, as they are easily distracted, appear forgetful, careless and disorganized, and frequently lose things. That's ADD. So, and the opposite on the spectrum of ADHD, however, for the symptoms, they might or might not display significant attention problems. They appear restless, fidgety, overactive and impulsive. They act before thinking and often speak before thinking by blurting out and interrupting others. The behaviour, however, for ADD is they are sluggish, slow to respond, and basically slow to process the information. They have difficulty sifting through the relevant and irrelevant information. They daydream a lot, maybe they may be shy or seem that they're withdrawn. This activity is consistent and may not only in a certain setting. However, on the other scale of it is people with ADD, they appear with hyperactivity, impulsiveness, kind of like behaviours. They may play and interact loudly, they have difficulty staying in their seat, talk excessively, have trouble waiting in turns, they may seem to be perpetually on the go, however. Okay, you already know basically what it stands for basically, guys, so this ends part 1 briefly of what ADHD is, and hopefully what I'm going to do next is what I'm going to overview, which I'll do now. Since, as I said, I've told you what ADD is and the similarities between the differences between ADD and ADHD, and just, you know, real briefly, as I said, I'm going to bring it through as adults ADD versus, you know, children ADD, as well as just the causes of treatment, managing and coping with it, maybe what not to say and what to say for people with ADD, I'm not sure as of yet, misconceptions of ADD, getting a diagnosis through ADD, you know, again, ADHD in children, you know, dealing with ADD in children and teaching them, and then the lifestyle changes, and the list continues on. So in all further ado, guys, basically give me a like for thumbs up for support, give me the like for the comments below if I've forgot anything, or you may want to list a few things that might be of relevance to others that is in conjunction with what this is all about, basically. Feel free to also just comment and engage with me. Feel free to private message me on Facebook or direct message me on YouTube on AspieAnswersAll, basically. Or also feel free to just, you know, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. You know, feel free to share these videos around. As I said, I don't mind this right now. So no further ado, guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.